You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me today on another podcast of All Things Sports with Mike Davis. Happy Memorial Day to all the vets out there and those who have served. Shout out to my father, my brothers, and my sister. They have served at some point in their life. Excuse me, making that sacrifice. So recognize all those that served our country. Again, happy Memorial Day. Thanks for joining me today on this podcast on this Monday. You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. If you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, I thank you for spending your time with me. If you're listening to the restream of the podcast on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like, and comment on the podcast. New podcast will typically air, we'll say Wednesday and Saturday. I have been bad with that lately. I've been really bad with that lately. But typically, the new podcast will air every Wednesday and Saturday. This is kind of a makeup podcast because there was no podcast on Saturday. So please feel free to share the podcast on any of the social media outlets that you use. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. So we all know that it's pretty much been a rough go of things. It's been slow when it comes to the sports scene. So, there's no all things Atlanta segment going on right now. But I do want to talk about some giveaways that I am having. So there are two giveaways. Now you can go on to Facebook. This is posted on the All Things Sports with Mike Davis page on Facebook. And this month, going forward, I'm going to pick a winner every month, whether that be a hat or a jersey, something. So this month for the giveaway, one lucky winner will receive an authentic Anthony Davis NBA Laker jersey and possibly a hat to match. Now, to be entered to win that jersey, all you have to do is subscribe and follow to All Things Sports Mike Davis on YouTube and on Instagram. Those are the pages. And once you've done that, just comment done on a recent video, podcast video on YouTube of All Things Sports. And it's that simple. Once you do that, you're entered. Now, that contest will end May 31st. That's coming up. The winner will be announced on June 3rd for the jersey. So, in conjunction, there is a new sneaker cleaning business that has arrived in Atlanta, ATL Sneak Clean. And they're looking for followers, and they are going to have a Air Jordan 5 giveaway. That is the Fire Reds that recently released. You can get a free pair. All you have to do is just follow these simple rules. So for that contest, all you have to do is go on the Facebook page and look for the Air Jordan 5 giveaway post, comment with your shoe size, go to the Instagram pages and follow these two pages. Okay? You will follow All Things Sports. That's ALLTH_INGSSPORTS. So it's All Things Sports, but when you get to the H, after H underscore, and then spell out the rest. And then also go to ATL Sneak Clean. That's ATL SEEK, not EAK, but SEEK, two E's. That's ATL Sneak Clean. After that, go to the YouTube channel, which is my page, All Things Sports, and subscribe on the channel. You follow those rules, you'll be entered to win a pair of Air Jordan 5s Fire Red giveaways. So good luck to those who follow those directions, and they will be entered. So kicking things off, we're going to start with a little football in the NFL. This is a story that I missed last week. I heard about it already. I didn't really comment on it, but Cody Lattimore of the Redskins, he was arrested. He pretty much got out, with no problem. That's pretty much any athlete, they're not going to be in jail long. But anyway, he was arrested and released on a $25,000 bond. He was charged with assault in the second degree, illegal discharge of a firearm in Colorado. According to the Douglas County Sheriff's Department, he is also facing misdemeanor charges of prohibited use of a weapon and reckless endangerment. A friend said that he and Lattimore had been drinking the night of the incident. The friend of Lattimore said that he pulled out a handgun and waved it around, saying that he was going to kill everybody, according to police records. According to Lattimore's friend, the situation de-escalated for a few moments before Lattimore fired 2 shots near his friend, who then pinned Lattimore against the wall. Lattimore then hit his friend on top of the head with the gun, and the fight eventually ended. Police arrived around midnight, and English received medical attention for a contusion on the top of his head, and a cut to his face. Now, you might be asking, Mike, why are you talking about this? What is so special about this story? Well, I just want to touch on it because I think stupid people have access to guns. I mean, the old saying. What's the old saying that everyone says? Guns don't kill people. Stupid people kill people. Guns and alcohol don't mix. That's one of the worst mixes that you can have. People. The only reason I'm talking about this story, please, gun safety. You don't pull out a weapon unless you are prepared to use that weapon and your life is in immediate danger. I don't understand why people don't understand this. They just pull it out because you're upset. And then you end up throwing your whole life away. Now, he is a professional athlete, so he'll get some leniency. You know how the world works. He's not going to face the type of punishment that us regular, civilians, us regular tax-paying citizens, would face. But this is a guy, in my opinion, he needs some help. Anytime you're doing something like that, you're being that stupid, you need to go talk to somebody. So hopefully he gets the help that he needs. Guns and alcohol, they never mix. Just put the guns down, drink responsibly. I don't see why I don't get look. I'm a guy, I like to have a taste every now and again. I'm not a hard drinker. I'm not an everyday drinker. But here and there, I don't mind having a little taste. And I know my limit, and I know what's going to put me down, but I need for people to use common sense. Common sense. That's all I'm saying. Use some common sense, people. Please. All right. So what else do we have going on in sports as far as football goes? Alden Smith was reinstated. That's crazy segueing from a guy, Latimer, who was just arrested for, guns, and, he had that liquid courage in him and going to Alden Smith. And we know his situation and the past demons he's dealt with alcoholism and whatnot. But I'm actually happy for the dude. I'm rooting for him this time. So Alden Smith, who had been suspended since 2015 for violation of the NFL's personal conduct and substance abuse policies. He is now officially a Dallas Cowboy. Now, Smith had 47 and a half sacks in 59 games before his suspension, which is amazing. Smith will be able to take part in meetings with the Cowboys coaches and teammates in the virtual offseason program beginning on Tuesday. Now, he signed a one-year contract with the Cowboys in April. By being reinstated, he will receive $90,000 from the Cowboys and make up to $4 million if he reaches multiple incentives in the contract. Alden Smith, this is a guy who's been to the cliff, the ledge, and he's been back. And he's been to that cliff again, and he's come back. Hopefully, there's no more trips to that ledge. Hopefully, this is it. I'm rooting for the guy. The guy can ball. I wish that my Falcons would have taken a chance on him. He doesn't seem like an Arthur Blank kind of guy, though. So I doubt that would happen. But Alden Smith, look at that, 47 and a half sacks in 59 games. If you can bring that type of pressure to get to the quarterback, your defense should be forcing turnovers. You're forcing QBs into some bad throws. The secondary can do what they need to do and hang in there and get some picks. It's not bad. But like I said, I'm rooting for Alden Smith. Shout out to Alden Smith. I hope he goes on to have a successful rest of his career after getting the help he's needed and all the nonsense he's been involved in. So let's take it over to Texas now. The Niners' old 90s rivals. The Cowboys' old 90s rivals. The Dak Prescott, he wants more money. Is that surprising? Dak wants more money. So Dak turned down a historic contract offer from the Cowboys worth $175 million over 45 years. Now, the 175 wasn't the problem. The issue is he wants more money on the back end. He wants, I believe it was 40 to 45 million, because he anticipates that once those years are up, he still wants to be one of the top paid quarterbacks once he gets toward the end of his deal. So he won't have to worry about, I need to renew a contract and be in the situation he's in now. I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm Dallas, I would let him sign it. Because how many guys in the pros reach the end of their deal? It is rare when guys in the NFL reach the end of their contract. Look at Devontae Freeman. He's threatening to retire now if he doesn't get the money he wants. Now, he said that was a lie, that he never put out that he was going to retire. But Devontae Freeman was cut 3 years. This was going to be his third year into a 5-year deal. So he played 2 years of the 5-year deal he signed with Atlanta. That goes on all the time in pro football. In the NFL, guys just don't play out their contracts. Now, Dallas just had a situation where they just lucked up, and they got a quarterback in Dak who was able to carry that offense, and Jerry didn't have to pay him. It's almost like the Scotty situation thing, where you got more from him. He outplayed his contract. Doesn't happen a lot. Doesn't happen a lot at all. But he outplayed his deal, and Dak wants to get paid, but Jerry's like, look, we'll discuss it. And now Dak wants to take care of himself. And I get it. I get it from Dak's point of view. I don't agree with it. I don't think he's worth 30 plus million anyway. But that's just me. But to me, he's not worth the 30-something million at all. But it's a quarterback league. It's a quarterback-driven league, and that's pretty much the going rate for a QB. I believe Russell Wilson is the highest paid. I believe he's making $30 million, if I'm not mistaken. But if I'm Jerry Jones, I signed the deal, in maybe 3, if it depends on how long it is, maybe, cause I'm seeing it's 175 over 5 years. So you release them that fourth year into the deal and say you can't afford them, you know? Because I don't think Dak is an upper echelon quarterback to begin with. I just don't. Now, if he doesn't hold out this year, we're going to see what he's really about. He's got some weapons. He's got Ezekiel Elliott running the ball in the backfield. He's got Cooper on the outside. He's got the rookie receiver on the other side, Lamb. So we're going to see this year what he can do. Now, I do think Dallas should have already had paid him before it got to this point, but I don't think he's worth $175 million at all. At all. All right. Before I take a quick break here, the NCAA D1 Council, they have reportedly approved voluntary football and basketball activities, and they voted last Wednesday to approve on-campus training for activities for athletes participating in football, men's basketball, women's basketball, ending a moratorium that had been in place since mid-March. All other sports will be voted on at a later date. So it looks like we're starting to get back to some normalcy here. And you see teams starting to, like with the NBA, they're starting to open up facilities for a certain amount of players and come work out. And now you see the NCAA is starting to allow the same thing. I saw something where the SEC was going to allow certain teams, well, not certain, but I think all SEC teams to open up their facilities, and they can set the rules on how they want to set it as far as, player safety control is. And if you're a sports fan, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Things are moving into a direction that we're starting to, maybe hopefully get some games played. You had a NASCAR race not too long ago. I think it was last week. Granted, that was without fans, but we're starting to get to some normalcy. This is going to be the new normal now. So we're getting there. we are definitely getting there. So hey, like I said, sports is going to be back soon. We're almost there. Look, on that note, I'm going to take a quick break. You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I'll catch you on the other side. And welcome back. You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis, podcast number 23. Glad you can join me on this Monday on Memorial Day. So before I get to my next topic, I just wanted to give a little, some little tidbits here that I was looking at. And, the last segment I ended with the NCAA is getting back to some normalcy and allowing teams to open facilities up. Things are shut down because of the COVID-19 situation, and it's still rearing its ugly head. Look, we're going to be in some situations for a while. Like, I was reading the Oakland A's can't pay their rent. They cannot pay their rent. Now, the Athletics have made annual rent payments, according to the stadium officials at the Ring Central Coliseum. Is that the new name of the Coliseum? I know it was like the Alameda County Oakland Coliseum, something like that. Remember, they shared the Coliseum with the Raiders, the Oakland A's. But is that the new name of the arena, the Ring Central Coliseum? That's a terrible name. If that, look, first of all, that whole stadium is terrible. Anyway, they need to just, I've never been there. But just looking at it, I have been to some places that aren't like that. Like Hard Rock Stadium. Hard Rock Stadium, before the renovations, was nothing but concrete. Okay? It was straight concrete everywhere. That's all it was. Now, they've made it look nice and all that. Now, if you've never seen how it used to look before they made it like my girlfriend calls it a sailboat. She said Hard Rocks, it looks like a sailboat, but it is. They did a great job with the renovations. I went to a game there last year, a preseason game, and it from looking at television with how that A's stadium, A's slash old Raiders stadium used to look, that the A's still playing, it looks like old Joe Robbie, which is now Hard Rock, which also went on to be what pro players. Look, the Dolphins had a bunch of names for that stadium, but anyway, though, the Oakland Coliseum, it looked like that, just straight concrete. It looked horrible. It was a horrible eyesight, and the if I'm the A's, I need a new building. I need a new building immediately. The Raiders have left town again. I've seen the Raiders. Let me see. When I first started watching football, the Raiders were in L.A. Then they went to Oakland. Okay, now they're in Vegas. Okay, so I've seen the Raiders play in 3 different cities. Oh, man. Anything to get away from that Coliseum, I guess, and the A's might want to take that same approach. But anyway, they can't pay the rent, according to the Ring Central Coliseum. And Henry Gardner told the Bay Area News Group on last Tuesday, that the team had informed the stadium authorities that it couldn't pay the $1.2 million annual rent that was due April 1st, citing the coronavirus pandemic. Now, they said because they haven't used the Coliseum, that they're not able to generate the revenue, and they have no ability to pay. Now, this is what Henry Gardner told the newspaper, and honestly, I wouldn't want to pay to play in that dump anyway. I mean, let's be honest, it's a dump. It's one of the worst looking buildings in all of sports. But but that's the coronavirus. It is affecting everything, to the point where, you have some pro teams, they can't even pay their rent. Do I sympathize with them? Not really. You have, people out here who really can't pay their rent. People that work a 9 to 5, and they've been furloughed, and some have actually been fired. And then they're trying to find out where their next meal is coming from. So COVID-19 has really just reared its ugly head, and hopefully we're out of this situation very soon. Very soon. So the NBA, moving on to a little basketball. Now, this really isn't groundbreaking news. I heard about this story months ago. Remember when they were talking about playing down in Disney? It might not have been months ago, maybe weeks ago, but apparently it's popped back up, and they're considering Orlando again. So on Saturday, NBA spokesperson Mike Bass tweeted out that the league was in negotiations to play the remainder of its games at Disney ESPN Worldwide Sports Complex in Florida. The NBA, in conjunction with the National Basketball Players Association, is engaged in exploratory conversations with the Walt Disney Company about restarting the 2019-20 NBA season in late July at Disney, ESPN's Wide World of Sports Complex in Florida, as a single site for an NBA campus for games, practices, and housing. Our priority continues to be the health and safety of all involved, and we are working with public health experts and government officials on a comprehensive set of guidelines to ensure that appropriate medical protocols and protections are in place. I mean, that's fine. Like I said, it seems like we're getting back to some normalcy, but we're kind of at the point now, we just want it to happen. I don't care when, just give me a date when it's going to happen. As long as everyone is safe and practicing social distancing, even though there was no social distancing going on this weekend at all. Okay? At all. So, that's all good and dandy now. What I'm hoping for is, if the NBA season does restart, what I'm hoping for is that they just go straight to the playoffs. Straight to the playoffs. I don't want to see any. I thought about playing games. Look, we're late in the year. This is when baseball is going on. It just wouldn't feel right, honestly watching NBA ball going into August when I'm getting ready for football. You know, so I don't want to have any playing games for the playoffs. I know you had I think it was a 3-team race for the 8th seed in the West at the time. I think it was Memphis, Portland, and New Orleans. Look, whoever's 1 through 8 in both conference, roll with that. Start the playoffs. Just start the playoffs. I'm not even mad if they go back to the old first round rules, which is the best of 5 in the first round. Let's get this thing over with. And I saw something that said that Shaq would put he said it's not worrying. He said it's not. We don't need to play the season out for it because whoever the champion is, there's going to be an asterisk place next to their names. Now, Tracy McGrady disagreed with that, but I have to agree with Shaq on this. Just my opinion. That's all. I agree with Shaq. I think an asterisk will be placed next to your name. Guys have look, I don't care what these guys have told you. They haven't played in what, 2 months, going on 3. You got some guys who might have shutting it down, and you're going to ask them to, come train for a month and get back to it. Look, I agree. Totally agree with Shaq on this. You're going to have an asterisk next to your name. It is what it is. Are you really going to count the champion of this year as the real champions? Now, this NBA season was great. I mean, this was going to go down one of the best seasons that I have watched. I mean, both teams in LA have a chance to play in the finals because I never believed in those Chris Paul, Blake Griffin Clippers. I don't care what anybody says. No, those Clippers, no. They weren't a threat to anybody. I never believed in them, and I was right. Okay? But the Clippers were for real. I knew the West. But if you wanted to win an NBA championship this season, you were going to have to go through the city of LA. Don't know which team. Now, my money, if I had to put money on it, it would be the Clippers. I just think Kawhi is just that X factor. So, and, LeBron has some things to prove. But the thing it's I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. Who to pick now? Because, and I will say this, now it's an even playing field. It is an even playing field now. There's no advantages to either side. May the best team win. So start it 1 through 8 in the West, 1 through 8 in the East. Get the playoffs going. I say do the first round best of 5, like the old way it was in the 90s. And let's pick an NBA championship. Let's get it on. And, we can move on to NFL football after that. All right, staying with the NBA, I just want to say RIP to my man, Jerry Sloan, Hall of Fame coach, former coach of the Utah Jazz. He passed away at the age of 78 on Friday. Sloan was one of the greatest coaches in NBA history and is number 4 on the all-time winningest coach list with 1,221 victories. He is among coaches with at least 500 games coached. He is 9th with a .603 winning percentage. Jerry Sloan, unfortunately, as I mentioned, passed away at 78 on Friday. And I remember watching him coach those Utah teams, and he definitely knew how to coach basketball. I mean, the man, but more so than basketball, he seemed like, and I don't know him personally, of course, but he seemed like a man that men respected. And I'm sure he'll be missed. I know the basketball community will miss him. So my prayers, my condolences goes out to Jerry Sloan and his family. I know it's hard to lose somebody like that. Jerry Sloan was a man among men. So RIP to my man, Jerry Sloan. So, that being said, uh, I look. This is a man space here, right? Can we be real? This is a man space. This is a man space, right? Okay, let's keep it real. Let's let's get into some man talk, some real man talk. I know we talk sports and all that, and that's fine. But I saw something, and I'm not really into the whole entertainment world, and what entertainers are doing as far as like you have your movie stars and your rappers and all that. Look, if you know Mike Davis, when it comes to music, I pretty much don't listen to anything past 2001. That's just where I'm at with it. I'm not a big fan of this new rap. Now you have some catchy songs. You listen to and that's cool. I listen to little Two Chains, a little Future here and there. Who I saw the money he had to pay a child support. Goodness, but but on this entertainment thing, I saw something that, and I'm pretty. It's old. This happened back in 3 years ago, but I figured it still applied to men out there. So this is about Jennifer Hudson, and this is going to be my last story before I end the podcast. Jennifer Hudson says that her money shouldn't pay for her ex's lifestyle because they have a kid. Where have I heard that before? So you mean to tell me that? Well, before I do, let me just read the story. Let me just read the story, and then I'll get my thoughts. So after being engaged for nearly 8 years, and first let me say, who in the hell is engaged for 8 years? I mean, either we gonna do this or we not gonna do this. 8 years? Okay. So Jennifer and her fiance David Otunga called it quits on their relationship back in 2017. Since that time, the two have gone toe to toe in courts, facing off over custody or finances, and the legal battle continues as Hudson is doing her best to not have to pay Otunga spousal support or provide money to pay for his housing. Now, I don't know everything into it. I don't know if you can get spousal support and you were never married. Or maybe it was like common law marriage. Maybe that was the situation. But isn't this something that men have been saying for decades? I'm just saying. It's not brand new. I'm pretty sure that this is something that men have been saying for decades. Just because I have money, or I'm a celebrity or whatever, or not even that, just because I have money, period. Why should my money have to pay for your finances? I don't understand that. If someone can help me and help me understand why, perhaps, I don't feel bad for her at all. I don't feel bad because men in this country are, when it comes to family courts, we're treated like second class citizens. And you don't hear too many women standing up for men's rights. I've never heard Jennifer Lopez, I'm sorry. My bad, J-Lo. I've never heard Jennifer Hudson stand up for men's rights. But now all of a sudden she's coming out and defending herself like she was a man. Look, my thing is, look, you guys want equal rights. You want equal opportunity and you want to be treated like men, then there you go. Deal with it. Feminism has ruined a lot in this country. Feminism has gotten things just all screwed up. It's like women want to be women when the situation calls for it. Look, own it. Now, I don't know how the custody situation is. Like I said, I'm not into this whole celebrity thing. It's a story I came across reading, and um, yeah, well, I tell you what. Actually, I saw the story on Tommy Sotomayor's channel. Now, I know some people who are listening might say, "Would you listen to Tommy Sotomayor?" Look, I listen to a lot of people. Okay, and there are things I agree with him. I'm not going to get into all that here and there. But this is a story that he did, and I came across it, and it was interesting to me. And I agree 100% with what he was saying about the situation with Jennifer Hudson. I mean, look, men, we have to pay. It's unfair with the amounts of child support and spousal support that men are paying. Look at Future. Future has to pay $50,000 a month in child support. What child do you know needs $50,000 a month? Why is it that maybe somebody out there can explain it to me? Why is it that you must live the way I live? I'm not married to you. So just because you have my kid, that means you should live the way I live. Well, fine. Since you all for equal rights, then let this man live the way that Jennifer Hudson lives. What's the issue? What's the problem? I don't see a problem. They share a kid, right? It's his kid. And I'm assuming he has custody because he's asking for all this and spousal support. I mean, uh, if you want to go with common law marriage and they live together, then pay my man. Let my man get paid. Look at Jay Cutler. I'm getting me a Jay Cutler jersey, by the way. I will be getting me a Jay Cutler jersey. Jay Cutler, we saw what happened with him and his wife, and she basically said she's divorcing Jay because he's lazy. The man played, I believe, 12 years in the NFL, something like that. 12 or 11 years in the league. He's lazy. He made $120 million playing quarterback for the Broncos, Bears in one season with the Dolphins. But yet you want to be independent with his money. She tried to buy a house with his money once they filed for divorce. My man Jay went and froze his bank accounts. I'm not mad at him. Not mad at him at all. I don't understand it. You're independent. You want to be treated like men. You want equal rights, but you want to do it off someone else's dime. No, you get your butt up. You go make your own money, which is what we've been saying. Because all of a sudden now Jennifer Hudson agrees with his logic. Now all of a sudden, you go make your own money. No. My man David or Tonga, I believe that's his name. He is the pass. Pay the man. Pay the man. Pay him right now. Hey, look, that's all. I'm not going to go on into it, but that I'm going to leave that right there. That's all I'm talking about. Okay. Oh man, I'm going to leave it alone. But look, one more time, women, get your own. Be independent with your own money. Don't be independent with someone else's money. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Is there anything wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with what I said? That's all I'm saying. That's it. Wow. Oh, and stat line of the week, well, the weekend, all sports leagues because no one played. So everyone they get a 0. And I don't have my boo queued up, so boo. Hey, look, people, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for tuning in with me. I thank you for taking time to include my podcast into your day or night. If you're listening to the restream of this podcast on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and like and comment on the podcast. New podcast will air every Wednesday and Saturday. I might just start airing this twice a week. Just look out for it. I never really get it in Wednesday and Saturday with my schedule, but there will normally be 2 new podcasts aired every week on Spotify. So please feel free to share the podcast on any of the social media outlets that you use. You've been listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. And remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.